As humans, we always have that tendency to talk about evil things that people do, or where people have failed, where they have not done well. And most times, from where we are, we can judge people, condemn them, throw them into the prison, lock up the prison, and throw away the key. Whatever makes us think that we can always have all the right pieces to be able to make a perfect judgment is something that I've not been able to understand. Let's talk about this. This is Father Love, and you are welcome to Make Love Go Viral. So, when we are told that elderly people are white people and that gray hair is synonymous with wisdom, it's not as if they have a special type of brain or some kind of out of the world intelligence. It is because they've been able to live through so many experiences and they have allowed these experiences to shape them. They have learned from these experiences. If there is one thing that I have learned from the experiences that I've had in life, it is to be careful how we judge people. And let me start with a story. So one of those days when I was still working at St. Joseph's Army Barracks, I was driving down to the Total roundabout and I had an itch on my neck. I've shared this story with folks in church, so this may not be the first time you would hear this story. So I had an itch and I wanted to scratch that itch on my neck. A bike man drove by and next thing I heard was idiot. Call. That's in my dialect. So let me translate. He said, idiot, you are driving and you are making calls. At that point, I had no idea where my phone was. I just wanted to scratch an itch. And when he said that, I started looking for my phone. Now, from where he was, he already judged me that I was so stupid to be driving and making calls at the same time. And anybody out there could have sworn that I was making a call because my hand was here. And of course, when you make a call, your hand is something like this. Hasty judgment. So one of those days, I celebrated Mass at St. Francis. And before the Mass ended, before the final blessing, I saw this woman take her children, and leave. In my heart, I was already boiling. So after the announcements, before the final blessing, I told church people, I said, this is how we mislead our children. How can a woman come to church and before the final blessing, they are taking their children home? And when they grow up and they don't even come to church at all, we blame them. Like, let us be careful what we do because that's what we will reap. At the end of that Mass, a man walked up to me and he said, Father, it's about the woman that left with her children. Maybe she didn't just leave because she wanted to leave. It is possible that, the thing with kids, maybe one of them was pressed and there was no place here for the child to ease himself or herself and she had to take them home. Then I thought about it. I'm like, God of mercy, that could be true. And it occurred to me that the same way the bike man judged me, that was how I, from where I was, already thought I put pieces together, and already passed judgment. Fuming. So, next time, when I was supposed to pass judgment on someone, I thought better of it and held back. And I will share this story with you. So, things change, and with changes came the issue of receiving communion on the palm and not on the tongue. And recently we've been instructed to give communion on the palm or on the tongue, whichever one the communicant chooses. So I was sharing out communion at Mass, and this woman walks up to the rail and brings out her hand. So I put the communion on her palm and it fell off. In different cultures of the world, there are certain sensibilities. And in my own part of the world, the left hand is something you use majorly to touch something that is unclean or that is desecrated or that is not worth it, something like that. You don't give something to an elder with your left hand. So when the communion fell, the sacred species, she bent down, just picked it with her left hand and put it in her mouth. So the man that was beside her, the man was furious, like, how could you pick the body of Jesus with your left hand? That I did not say something was because I was sharing out communion. I was carrying Jesus in the ciborium. I felt like, okay, the man was already saying it. She should take correction if she thinks what she's done is wrong. And after the mass, I was tempted to talk about it, but I said, what if? Just what if? Like, just what if what I thought happened wasn't exactly what happened? So after the mass, the woman walked up to me and she said, Father, I just wanted to tell you that I am sorry about what happened. And the long and short of the story, my brothers and sisters, is that that woman had stroke. And she was just recovering. And the palm that she brought out to receive communion was the better one. The other one was still limping, kind of, and that was why the communion fell off. And that was why she even picked it with her left hand. That was the one that was walking. I couldn't stop the tears, like every single time that I tell this story. It moves me. Because I would have just done the same thing, past hasty judgment, and thought that I was right, only to regret when eventually I find out that what I said wasn't the correct thing. If you are in the habit of judging people, I will tell you to slow your roll. Sometimes we will think we know exactly what's going on, like we are sure. We can never be sure, like really sure. And that's why we are not always in the right position to judge. Only God is. And it's good to always give people the benefit of the doubt until you are exactly sure of what it is that happened. So whatever happens, whatever we do, let us always move with love first and put things into consideration before we make pronouncements or say things that we think are right when exactly they are wrong. Let us learn to put a little more love into the world. Let us learn to love more. And until next time, God bless you. Peace.